blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
All right, 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. The other day, I went to a fast food restaurant. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you that. I'm trying to eat healthier, and so now when I say it, it's like, oh, geez, should I even mention this? But anyway, the reason I'm mentioning it is because they had these kiosks in there, and I was asking the young lady behind the counter, does this mean your job is going to be gone soon? You know, and she said no, it wouldn't be. But it's just one example of how the workplace has changed so much, and just one little thing right there. Mark Bickford is on the phone. He's the CEO of Sodexo Corporate Services of North America. He's going to talk to us about some of the changing workplace trends and see what they are and how they might affect all of us. Unlocking the potential millennial talent, it says here. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. How are you, Larry? How are you, Robin?
We're
good.
Okay, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I am actually calling from Gaithersburg, Maryland today.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice state. I love Maryland. How's the weather there today?
The weather is a little rainy and drizzly, but it's a little warm. So I actually live in Florida, so it's a little cold for me, but it's not too bad.
What do you? I think my son is considered a millennial. He's 30. Is he a millennial?
Yes, he would be a millennial at 30, yes.
And so I remember when I was 30, that was like the prime time. I didn't know I was going to get old, Robin. I thought I was going to be there forever. So what is his life in his work life and his generation, I should say, not just him specifically, but what is that work life? How is that different than it was, let's say, for me, which would have been 30 years ago?
Well, if we look, about the millennials in the trends report that we have here, that's one of the ones that we've highlighted. So I'll begin with that. The millennial generation, unlike me, I'm a baby boomer. So when I went to work at 30, I had a very different level of expectation and perspective around work. If we think about the millennial generation today, they're looking for an experience when they go to work. Not just tasks to do and responsibilities, but actual experience. The quality of life is very important to them at work and usually ranks first in whether or not they will come work for you as an employer and what they expect from you as an employer. So it's a very different way of working. And another example would be, when they go to work, they don't want to go to an office with four walls and a big desk and a door. They want to be in open collaborative spaces working with one another. They want to work autonomously when they want to. So it's very different in terms of what motivates them and makes them happy, but it doesn't mean that they're not productive and they can't contribute. They certainly can. You just have to make sure that you're providing that environment for them to thrive.
And in a corporation or a company that requires creativity, I would imagine that open environment actually serves that end. Am I right?
It's critical, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's critical, but I would say it's not just for those companies that require a lot of creativity. Of course, they get the best and brightest. They're going to have to do that. That's a minimum for those companies. But even companies in different industries, financial services, pharmaceuticals, consumer product companies. In order for them to differentiate themselves and be better than their competitors, they have to attract and retain the best talent, right? So if you think about that, the millennials, today they're a third of the workforce. They're going to be 75% of the workforce by 2025.
Mm-hmm. And you have to
everybody has to pay attention.
And you have to have that reciprocity of respect because, the workers, they do have this great working environment, but if they come up with ideas and submit them to their bosses, the bosses need to applaud those ideas and try to incorporate them if they are good and give them praise for doing so.
Absolutely, and one example of what you can do is actually with the millennials. They don't read emails, by the way. They don't open up an email, and so you really need to communicate them through their social media, right? So encourage them to send it through a Snapchat, a Twitter, or a Facebook, whatever. That's how they want you to communicate with them. That's what motivates them, not the traditional emails. So yeah, you have to be inclusive. You really need to understand and what they're looking for in a workplace environment, and make sure that that's part of the strategy. But I'd say another thing that's really interesting in the trends that you'll find in the report, it's the first time you have 5 generations in the workforce at the same time. So
Wow.
you think about this, under the one building, you have 5 generations that are working together. So as an employer, you have to make sure you're designing a workplace environment that is, meeting the needs and bridging the gaps between those different generations.
Wow.
So it's a real, it's happening, and happening pretty fast.
So like in the real estate world, they say it's either a buyer's market or a seller's market. In the world we're talking about here, it sounds like right now it's an employee's market. The employer has to actually change to fit the employee.
Absolutely. I mean, you take companies, and you mentioned earlier, Larry, about the creative companies. So let's say the high tech world, right? If you're a company like Google, if you see what they offer their employees, because they're all millennials, well, the companies like the Snapchat, which just went public, the Facebooks, Microsoft, anybody in that space, they're all fighting for the best talent out there. And what's amazing is when you ask these individuals, how are you going to make your decision? It's not like when we were 30, who's going to pay me the most amount of money?
Yeah,
to
right,
do my job? Right? Remember that? That's how we would that would be our point of reference. It's going to be, how much fun can I have at work? Am I going to be able to get this, and do this, and that? So
and what you're saying, just for the local listeners, is actually reflected. We do a segment twice a month with one of a company called Career Source. It's an agency actually, and they connect employers with employees. And the culture of the workplace is always one of the talking points. They're not just talking salaries and benefits; they're talking the culture of the workplace.
Absolutely, and I think and what we try to do with this annual trend report that we put out is actually provide. There's a lot of information, a lot of good research from internal, external experts that can really help with that. Help to understand those cultures, because there's many of them. And I just want to quickly touch on another trend on here that you referenced, Larry, about going to the kiosk, and asking, will you be replaced someday? Well, within the next 5-10 years, the new generation of robots and robotics coming out. Mm-hmm. It will no longer be for factories that are building cars where you'll see robotics. You will see in an office environment, my assistant someday may be a robot while I'm still working. And that's something I'm going to have to, as a baby boomer, adjust to.
I hope mine isn't.
Reality. It's something I have to adjust to, but it's going to be, for jobs that are repetitive, that are dangerous jobs. Think about on assembly lines where people are, doing manual labor, carpal tunnel issues, safety issues. So there's a lot of jobs that will be replaced actually by robots. But that will, in and of itself, is going to create a whole new industry around robots, and there'll be new jobs, different jobs.
And by the way, in a radio station, the perfect robot would be the one that changes the light bulb at the top of the broadcast tower.
Exactly.
If the robot falls down, nobody cares.
That's my point. They're going to do the dangerous jobs. So,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
Okay. You just have to pay the bill to repair it. So
I know. Mark, before you say goodbye, do you have a website so we can get the report or look at it?
Yes, we do. You can find the 2017 Global Trends Report at sodexoinsights.com. That's SODEXOinsights.com, and that is free of charge, that you can download the entire report.
Thank you, Mark. I'm going to do that. I'm going to share that with the folks over at Career Source. Thank you for being on there with us today.
Right. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, we will be right back.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner & Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner & Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner & Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184. There are only a few things in life that you can be certain will always be around: death, taxes, the pursuit of happiness, and computers. As they continue to advance at an epic pace, the one absolute certainty about them is that they'll break. It's not an if, it's a when. And when it happens, bring it to the only company in Ocala that's certified in Apple and Microsoft, Ocala Mac and PC Repair. They even offer on-site computer repair service, so they come to you. And if you do drop it off, you can check your repair status online. Ocala Mac and PC Repair is a family-owned and operated company that can do everything from mobile repair to wireless networks, fixing viruses, data recovery, even building and installing new systems. Visit online at ocalamacpc.com. In person, 1713 East Silver Springs Boulevard, or give them a call, 352-566-8324. That's 352-566-8324. Ocala Mac and PC Repair.
Why experts say it's okay if you don't wash that chicken before it gets cooked. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Did you know there is a world of possibilities for U.S. beef in the global marketplace? Data show that 95% of the global population is outside of the United States. This is why checkoff dollars are invested in foreign marketing and education of importers and consumers across the globe. These efforts let us introduce new products, generate goodwill, and promote the quality and safety of U.S. beef. Learn more at mybeefcheckoff.com. Then spread the good news about your checkoff investment, paid for by Your Beef Checkoff.
The way crop prices fluctuate, you're actually thinking about trying to save some money by not using a product like Black Max 22 this year. Here's the problem. Because prices are volatile, improving yield becomes your most important strategy. And Black Max 22's proprietary LHC technology is designed to optimize your soil, reduce fertilizer burn, and improve yield potential year after year. Don't let saving money cost you money. When it comes to your nutrition program, remember Black Max 22, because if you feed it, you need it. See your local CPS retailer today.
It may be out of habit, washing or rinsing raw chicken before you're getting ready to pop it in the oven or on the grill, but USDA's food safety specialist, Marianne Gravely, says stop doing that because
it spreads bacteria around your kitchen. So, as you're running the water and washing the chicken, the bacteria aerosolizes and just kind of scatters around the sink area.
And you can't see it, but it's getting on everything.
Your clean dishes in your dish drainer, your sponge, your soap, the handles on your sink, your hand towel, all those things are going to get bacteria on them, and those are all things that are not going to go in the oven and get cooked.
So forget washing it first and just cook it.
If you cook chicken to 165 degrees, you'll kill all the bacteria that might be present there, and it'll be perfectly safe.
I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders.